Hello there, my crafty friends. It's Ashley Pfeiffer, the maker behind StampedAF. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada. And I mentioned a few videos back that I wanted to get back to this face-to-face introduction, but I mean, COVID isn't playing very nice, so put on a little bit of lip gloss, a little bit of concealer. Doesn't work wonders, but it's still that face-to-face that I think we're all craving right now, right? So this week's video is just a little bit late, and that's because I was hoping that my pre-order was going to arrive earlier than scheduled today. It did not. It was another shipment that was coming. So I am going to bring you a cute card that I made a couple of weeks ago. It is using a super cute technique that I learned from the one and only Jennifer McGuire. So let's turn this around and get our craft on. So to make this card, we don't need a whole lot of supplies. The key element that we need is Whisper White ink. If you don't have that, you can use Versamark, but we are going to use the Dragonfly Garden bundle. So that's that adorable punch. And then we've got the Dragonfly Garden stamp set. And I've got this gorgeous stamp already out. I'm going to ink that up. And I know this is going to be very difficult for you to see. It's actually very difficult for me to see. So it's kind of a hard technique to demonstrate, but I'm going to tell you that the most critical step is making sure that this is completely dry, because if it isn't, the technique isn't going to work. Now, I can just tell that my flower stops there. So I want to have two little groupings of these dragonflies, and I don't want them to overlap. So it will be a matter of lifting it up. You can probably just see that, but it's just a matter of lifting it up. Now I'm going to use my heat tool on the high setting and just make sure this is completely dry to the touch. So there won't be any shine left when it is dry. But just to give it another minute, we're going to go ahead and prep the rest of the card. I did leave it blank on the inside. I've got May Good Things Grow All Year Long. The sentiments in this stamp set are gorgeous. It does match the Garden Wishes. And both of these bundles are carrying forward. I'm not sure that they'll be at the bundled price, but sorry, I'm trying to prevent the glare. Need good lighting, but stamp sets are too shiny. So these are both carrying forward. This one has a punch. This one has the dies. Both fantastic. Work well together because all the sentiments are the same fonts. So I am using an A2 size top folding card. So it is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. This will take up the side there. I should mention this piece right now is 2 inches by 5 3/4, and that's only because I want to have a little bit to cut off the top, the bottom, and the sides, just so that I don't have any harsh inking lines. If you look at this one, you can see that I came from the left side, and I don't want those harsh lines. So we'll trim off just a little bit, but while we give that another minute, let's use our May Good Things Grow All Year Long. And because this sentiment is so fine, it can be tricky to get a good impression. I'm going to use Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and we might as well stamp our dragonfly while we're at it. And I wanted to show you this in my spring fling retreat that's coming up. And as this video is live, the deadline has not yet passed. This coming Saturday, April 10th, is the deadline, 2021. And we are going to be using the Dragonfly Garden bundle and the Pretty Perennials bundle. I've got my projects designed, and they are so stinking cute, if I do say so myself. The registration in Canada, which is where I am, is $85. You have the option to add on one or both bundles, or the dies, or the punches. And you will receive $30 in Stampin' Up. You know what? I'm going to throw the photo up here and just let you see it so that you can soak it all in. Okay, so let's get to this. Another key element here is Post-it notes. So I'm going to rip this. I'm going to put it at the bottom here. And I am going in a different order this time. I'm going to have green. So I've got Old Olive, Bumblebee, Calypso Coral, and Misty Moonlight. So I'm going to go green, yellow, orange, blue. Just so it's a little more rainbowy. Okay. So I'm starting off with the Old Olive. I always start on my grid paper. And look at that magic. You would never know that it was on that sheet to begin with. But it shows up beautifully now. And you don't want to ink it up so much that you obliterate the image. It's a very fine line, I'm not going to lie. Okay, so there we go. And when I did this the first time, I was trying a striping technique. So what I did was I left a gap between. But then the problem with this technique is that you don't see the image until you ink over it. So my stem started and stopped, started and stopped, started and stopped. So I did come in after the fact and I added the softer colors in between. Okay, so we're going to rip another one, and now we'll do our Bumblebee. And if you're worried about those pieces popping up on you, just take another Post-it. Oh, we'll have to rip it in half because they're going different directions. Tape it down to your side, and then we can use these ones as our next mask. So again, starting off the page. So do you see what I mean about my stems starting and stopping? I'm thinking maybe we could have let this dry a little bit longer, but it's too late now. Okay, so we're going to do our Calypso Coral here. I'm using those two notes that I had stuck to the side, so we'll use this here and this here, just so we're not wasting more paper than is absolutely necessary, because this is perhaps not the most environmentally friendly masking. Look at that beautiful flower, and we don't even know it's there until we add that ink. Okay, that Post-it's just getting in the way. And just because I don't want these colors to kind of mix together, I'm going to use one more for that Misty Moonlight, and we'll just mask that at the top. So again, I don't want to mix it with the green. So now we can see those dragonflies right at the top. And now we can come in and kind of fill in the gaps. So let's do our green there. I went a little heavy-handed on the Old Olive the first time around. So the one color that we're not going to have very much of is Misty Moonlight. And if you do want to have a little more of it prominent on the card, then just make your spaces smaller. The gaps between, because these are rather large gaps. And I don't want to blend these colors too much because I have a feeling they would probably make brown. But look how pretty that is. I feel like where I went a little heavy-handed, you lose some of the detail, but I still think it's beautiful. So I've got my little guillotine trimmer here. It doesn't have to be a particular size. I just don't want any sharp edges on here. Harsh edges, I guess. And I really don't want to take a whole lot off the top because there's so little Misty Moonlight to begin with. I'm just going to eyeball it here. I love this little trimmer. I don't love that it doesn't go all the way to 5.5. Not too bad on the eyeballing though. Isn't that pretty? Just a nice, clean, and simple card. I mean, we've used a lot of Post-its. And now we've got our Dragonfly over here. I'm going to use some greens to color him. So let's use Old Olive. And I'm going to use soft seafoam. I want to stay kind of in the same temperature. If I went with mint macaron, it's a very blue green instead of a yellow green. I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to start on the inside of these wings and bring in some dark Old Olive. And there's nothing fancy about this blending. Okay, and then we'll bring in our light Old Olive and just blend the two lines in together. And then the rest we'll fill with our soft seafoam. If you feel like you've blended too much of the dark out, then come back in. You can, you can even move up to Mossy Meadow if you want it a little bit darker. I still want some depth in there. And it really doesn't matter which you use first, dark or light. As long as the ink is still wet, they will blend. So I'm going to go over all of that and kind of bring it down. I know that it looks blue on here, but they do pair nicely. And then I like to go over the body with my light basic black. I find that the dark obliterates everything, but I don't always get a good impression with this, with the body part of this stamp set. So I'll come in with my light basic black and just darken it up. You could also use your Stampin' Write marker, your black Stampin' Write marker, or the journaling pens. And then we're just going to punch this out. And I saw something really cute the other day. I'm going to show you. I don't know that I'm going to put it on the card, but I'm going to show you how cute it is. Okay, so I've got that lined up. We're punching out the little one, even though I don't have anything there. And truth be told, the little one doesn't have a stamp. But I saw something the other day that was just too stinking cute. So if we line up this one that I colored previously, using the little baby dragonfly from the punch, line it up. We're not going to have very many white edges on this, and that's okay. But do you see, we can punch out a little baby. Like, how cute is that? There are no white edges on this one. So if that bothers you, I don't know what to tell you. Sometimes it bothers me, but I just think this one is so cute. And what a genius idea, right? Now, if the white lines really bothered you, you could come in and fussy cut this. But what I like to do when something like that bothers me with the edges, I will just go around the whole thing with a Stampin' Write marker. Now, usually what I would do is I would match the colors. Like where the Old Olive starts, I would use Old Olive so that you're basically extending the stamp to the edges, but we're just going to use soft seafoam, light soft seafoam here. Cute, right? And then it also covers up the fact that I went out of the line there. Well, maybe a little bit. But that is a cute little trick. Look at this thing. Isn't it just darling? I thought it was genius. Okay, so to attach this guy, we are going to take, I don't know if I have any in here. If you have foam adhesive strips, if you have some of the foam adhesive sheets, you can do that. But I found just cutting a little piece off the side of my mini dimensionals and popping it on the body. Actually, let's do a couple. I just did a little bit under the top of the body. So basically what I have now, but I did put that up fairly high. So you don't want to cut too much. You see how little I'm using there? I don't know where that went. So I'm going to, oh, it stayed on there. It sounded like it bounced off, but it stayed on. Okay, so we're going to peel the release paper on that. I would usually use my take your pick tool. We're going to fold those wings back, and then, whoops, would help if we adhered this, right? You can use your adhesive of choice here if you'd rather use Seal or Seal Plus. That is up to you. But I thought every now and then we need a quick kind of, maybe this isn't quick, but a clean and simple card that isn't a whole bunch of layers and a whole bunch of just stuff. I mean, I think this is a great technique. Now, if you notice on here, this kind of covers up part of the sentiment. Now, once the recipient gets it and they pull those wings back, you can still read it. But I think I might put it a little bit higher up this time so that that doesn't happen. You can also have it facing in. But I'm going to put it up here. And it gives it a different look. So you decide which one you like. Let me know in the comments below which card is your favorite. Do you like it where the yellow, like we went yellow, green, blue, Calypso Coral, or do you like it this way? Let me know which one's your favorite. I'm thinking I like my original because I can see a little bit more of the image, but it is what it is, right? So I thank you for joining me. If you are new here, welcome. I don't know why I always wait till the end of the video to say this, but welcome. I hope you will consider hitting that subscribe button. You will catch a new video each and every week, sometimes 2 videos in a week. So thank you, and we'll see you again soon, my crafty friends. Bye.